Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to part three, the finale. This is what we've been waiting for. So excited to be here today, and we get to actually put our hands on something, build something tonight. So, yay! This is what we've been waiting for. I'm not going to talk too much tonight, just except to say again, thank you all for supporting Witchsea, for supporting the Blue Witch. We really appreciate all of you, and there's a lot more events coming, so make sure you're checking that event page. Bunch of stuff with the Blue Witch, and we got some tarot lessons, learning tarot coming up as well. So a lot of cool stuff coming up. So just make sure you keep checking the page. I think we may even have someone coming in to teach how to do ritual candles. So that's going to be a very cool event as well. So keep your eyes open for that. And like I said, not going to talk too much. I'm just going to hand it right over to the Blue Witch. Enjoy, everyone.
Hey guys. Okay, so I'm gonna back you up a little bit and bring this down so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I want to start off by saying I know that my voice sounds crazy right now. I did have throat surgery like years ago though, so whenever I get sick, it hits my throat extra hard. So yes, am I sick? Yes, but don't yell at me. I know if Eleanor's in here, she's been yelling at me. She's like, stop posting stuff. But I don't feel as bad as I sound. Okay. Just so rest assured, it's okay. I don't feel as bad as it sounds. Um, Also, this one is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in parts one and part two. I'm going to be looking over here. I was thinking about tea earlier and I ended up going with like hot chocolate. I just wanted something warm and sweet. But I'm going to be looking over here at the chat a lot more. I maybe instead of doing such a long Q&A at the end, I feel like we need to be answering questions kind of as we go so nobody gets left behind or stuck. Yes, it's crazy. Well, I had laryngitis once and I had nothing but a whisper for 3 months straight. It was the most insane thing I've ever experienced. But yeah, so I'm gonna be watching over here so that I can see what you guys are talking about or if you have questions. So before we touch anything, I also wanted to show you. So I'm using all the exact same things that if you guys bought the kit. See, I the only thing I've opened so far is my myrrh incense. So I didn't mention that you should probably have some kind of fire safe dish to sit your incense cone on. And this is optional. I have a little thing I'm gonna let my candle burn out in, but that's just me. You don't have to. You can extinguish your candle. You don't have to let it burn all the way down after we seal the jar. That's just what I like to do. But you probably want to have something down for when you're dripping the wax so that it catches. Um, yeah, I almost forgot a lighter too. I sat back down. I was like, I need a lighter. So before we touch anything, the first thing I want you guys to do, especially if you follow me, if you subscribe to me, you know we ground. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I just want you guys to sit here and ground. Take a few deep breaths with me, feet flat on the floor. I don't know if you're sitting or standing, but try to put your feet on the floor or just feel your weight in your body. And then we're just gonna do 2 deep breaths real quick. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Okay, now I just caught myself doing something, and I know that you guys are probably doing it too. So we're going to take 2 more, but this time I want you to make sure that you're not only filling up your chest. That's actually a sign that you're holding tension in your body. We want deep belly breaths. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time, and I want you to focus on filling up your belly. And if you're new to breathing that way, deep in your stomach like that, you can feel a little lightheaded or maybe disoriented. If it's too much for you, don't take the second one. But that really, really helps to ground you. And I want you to feel the difference when you're filling up your stomach. You should feel a little bit heavier. You should feel more weight. Relax your neck, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw, remove your tongue from the top of your mouth. That's another sign that you're carrying tension in stress in your body is when your tongue is consistently at the top, like on the roof of your mouth, stuck to the roof of your mouth. Pull your tongue down. Ready? Okay. Oh, I was buffering. Okay, so now let's just take a second. I can't there we go. Let's just take a second. Remember that protection magic is not about fear. It's not about keeping bad things away. We are creating boundaries tonight. We are claiming our space tonight, our energy and our authority. So, this is not like a reactive jar. It is proactive. It's not built from anxiety. We are building from intention. So with that being said, we can go ahead and get your myrrh incense cone or whatever incense you're using. If you gathered your own ingredients, if you have an incense stick, that's fine. If you are burning sage, that's fine. Whatever. If you have your bell or clapping, however you want to cleanse, that's what we're going to do right now. So I'm going to go ahead and light the cone. Oop. I blew it out with my nose. We'll just let that flame for just a second to get good and burning. And the first thing we're going to do is cleanse ourselves. I like to run it around my head first. Kind of cup your hand and let it fill up here. Waft it over you. I like to kind of do this little loop-de-loo thing with my arms. Definitely make sure that you're running it in front of your chest, down your stomach. I just run a little line down my legs. I'm going to give you guys all just kind of a second to do that, and I'll just sit here and enjoy this wonderful smell while you're doing it. And if I start moving too fast, please let me know. I will slow down for you, okay? The next thing that we're going to do is just kind of cleanse our space. So after you're done doing yourself, we're just going to do our space, kind of let the smoke hit the table, let it hit, your bags of herbs, or if you have your herbs out, the tools that you're working with. You can even take your candle and just kind of run it through the smoke. I like to do my jar. I like to take the lid off, let some smoke get up in there. Can you see that? So that it's cleansing the jar to the outside of the jar. You don't have to drown everything in smoke, but we just kind of want to hit everything, make sure our space is good and happy and cleansed. And then we can set the incense cone to the side and let that continue to burn if you want to. Now, while you guys are doing yourself in your space, let's talk about why we're using myrrh specifically. And you may not be using myrrh, and that's okay. Everything that was sent in the Blue Witch protection kits was chosen intentionally for purpose. So myrrh has been used for protection and purification and spiritual boundary setting for literally thousands of years. It's grounding, it's stabilizing, it's especially good work it works especially good for containment work, which is exactly what we're doing with the spell jar. So this isn't about like getting rid of bad energy. It's about resetting. Um, so let me know. I think I'll be ready to move on. I don't want to leave anyone behind. If I start going too fast, then just do you have to let the incense burn, or can we put what? There's just a question mark. You can put it out if you're wanting to put it out. You can put it out. I know some people have animals and stuff. You don't have to let it burn the entire time. I know. You know what? I didn't either until years ago when I learned that somebody literally was like, your tongue off the roof of your mouth," and I was like, "How did you know I was doing that?" And I catch myself doing it all the time now. Okay, so now while you're cleansing your space, or if you've just finished or whatever, I just want you to take a second to be intentional about it. I'm present. I'm focused. I'm protected. We're not forcing anything. We're just aligning. So I think if everybody's got that done, we're just going to go ahead and move on once that feels complete. So now we're going to talk about the jar. So this is the jar that came in the kit. It's a 10 millimeter cork top jar. You don't have to, if you don't have this, that's fine. If you have an empty pickle jar, that is fine. Whatever you're working with, okay? This was chosen for this working because small jars are ideal for protection work because it's not meant to be big or overwhelming, right? The jar is acting like a container for your boundary, not a dumping ground for fear. And something that I wanted to address real quick, because when I first started doing spell jars or learning about spell jars, I thought this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen because just in case anyone's afraid to ask, my initial thought process on it was, why are we putting all of our intention into these herbs and then putting them in a glass container and trapping it, right? Because little mason jar, yep, that's just fine. But I used to think, like, why are we trapping it? Because, the intention can't go anywhere. It's in a glass jar. Like, that's dumb. That was my thinking. So I need you guys to understand that the jar, because I didn't until someone explained it to me, the jar is your main ingredient. This is your MVP right here. You're putting intention into the herbs and the crystals and things as well. But this is the same size jar. You should be fine. You should be fine as long as you don't mess with it too much afterwards. Um, but yes, this is your MVP. This is your main ingredient. So, also the cork top is also intentional, just in case you didn't know or something. But the cork tops are organic. They're breathable, energetically cooperative. It allows energy to circulate without leaking intention. So before we add anything to the jar, I just want you to pick it up, hold it in your hands, because this is really important. This is probably the most important part. And you're just going to take a moment and say out loud or in your head. It honestly doesn't really matter. We're just going to feel it here and say, I'll say it and then give you guys time to repeat things after me. Okay. This is created for protection. It guards my energy, my space, my well-being. It allows what is aligned and it blocks what is not. I like to feel everything. Okay, that is you programming the container before you fill it. So everything that we put inside from here on out is going to amplify that initial intention that you've put into your jar. And that's not optional. That's foundational. You got to program your jar. So the first thing that we're going to add is the salt. So it's a carrier, as in oil for other purposes. Kind of. It's comparable to that. Yeah. That's like a good analogy. So we're going to start with our salt. And I'm just going to explain every ingredient as we add it, because I feel like, we should. But salt is it is protective, it's grounding, it's purifying, but most importantly, salt creates energetic structure. So think of the salt like the walls of a house. When we add salt first, we're saying this is the boundary, everything else works inside of this. Okay, so then you're going to add a layer of salt to the bottom of your jar, and you don't need to fill it. You don't have to use everything that came with this. You don't even have to fill it halfway. Just think of, you have other things that you need to fit in there. You just want enough to clearly establish a base. Okay. Again, like I said, I like to touch my stuff. So I'll show you here about how much I have. I don't know if you can see, but so I'm going to pour it into my hand like this. And then I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of energy, a little bit of warmth. And for the salt, say in your head, or out loud, whatever you're comfortable with, this salt creates a barrier of protection. Only what serves me may pass through this. And then we're just going to, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I didn't feel like that was enough. And then we're just going to add it to the jar when you feel ready to add it to the jar. So I'm going to put mine in here. And then I'll show you about how full my jar is. So this is about what I have in the bottom here. Epsom salt, if that's what you have. I mean, all salt holds the same properties as far as protection wise. Roughly a teaspoon, yeah, maybe a little bit less. Yep. Oh, Trish, you're so awesome. Thank you for putting that in the words in the chat for me. She Debbie made it. Okay. So just remember that this is not about trapping energy, it's about defining limits. So after you get the salt added, we're going to slow this part down just a little bit. I'm moving for the rosemary next. And we're just going to do that with everything we add to the jar. That's what I like to touch my stuff. So I'm going to get out some rosemary here. Again, if you start to get left behind, please say something because I will slow down. So I have about this much rosemary. Now, rosemary is protective, yes, but it's also clarifying. It strengthens intention and it keeps the working from becoming muddled. So when you add your rosemary or when you have it in your hands, you're going to say or think in your head like you're talking to it, okay? Rosemary. My phone just went off. Strengthen this protection. Keep my intention clear and steady. And then just take a moment to really sit with that, put the intention in it. And then you can go ahead and add that to the jar when you feel ready. Oh, that is perfect. The black salt, perfect. Absolutely. Now, before the jar gets too full, I do want to address that. I remember some people told me that they're not making this jar for themselves, they're making it for someone else. So if you're making the jar for someone else, at this point, you are welcome to get yourself a little piece of paper, a pen, write that person's name and an intention for that person on there, just real small, kind of roll it up and go ahead and stick that in the jar because you don't want the jar to get too full so that you can't fit the paper in there. But if you're making it for else, you're going to want to put their name or in some kind of little petition in there, even if it's just their name and the word protection. Just something very small so that you're still going to be able to fit the rest of the stuff in, but you just don't want to wait till the last second and then you can't fit that in there. But there's no specific order to anything. You can do it as you feel you want to. So don't let me stand in your way of a plan. Next, I'm grabbing the basil. Same thing. So basil brings harmony and balance. My chat's doing this little thing where sometimes it doesn't like to keep up. It's okay if you have little hands. It really is. It's okay. My hands are, I don't know. My husband says I have little hands, but I don't think I have little hands. But it's okay. You don't have to have the exact same amount in there. You need in your jar what you feel you need in your jar. However much you feel is okay. As long as there's enough in there to satisfy your will and what you want in there, you are good to go. There's no hard rules here. Was that okay? Yeah, it may have been you that I was talking to, actually, Robin. I just remembered that somebody had said that. So, yes, basil brings harmony and balance. This is like, you need something in there to bring the balance, because protection without balance becomes very rigid. And so we're going to add the basil with the understanding that protection should not isolate you, it should support you. So for the basil, we're going to do the same thing. You could do something like basil, bring balance and peace within this protection. And then we're going to let that sit in here. And when you feel ready to add your basil, you can go ahead and add your basil. So this is about how full my jar is now. Oh, I love that. I grow herbs too. I overdid my I overdid my garden last spring, and I had way too much stuff. I gave a lot of it away. Okay, next I'm going to grab the thyme. What might you speak to a bay leaf? Bay leaves are also very, very protective. Did you have what? Can you tell me what other ingredients you were using so I can kind of know how it's going to work together? Stephanie, sorry. Oh, okay. Okay. So in your case, then you could even ask the bay leaf um to amplify the protection within the jar, because bay leaves are very potent, actually. So you could ask the bay leaf to amplify in the jar. You could ask the bay leaf to help this protection, to help the universe to hear what you're trying to send out. I'm extremely indecisive. What are you indecisive about? Also, when you, Stephanie, for the bay leaf, if you want, when you added, since you've added the bay leaf now, you can also tell it your overall intention for the jar. Reinforce your intention for the jar. Like if you have a specific, everybody has a specific reasons they're making the jar, right? So whether you're protecting your home, whether you're protecting your work or your car or your your family, that's bay leaf would be perfect to state that over. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open the thyme. You can write on a bay leaf if you want to, but you don't have to. It's not like a rule that you have to write on a bay leaf. A lot of people do write on a bay leaf, but you can, if you're wanting to write something to add to your jar, you could do that on a bay leaf. You could do that on a piece of paper. There's no, I mean, it doesn't matter. If you want to write on your bay leaf, write on your bay leaf. That's perfectly fine. Oh, rosemary. So up in the chat, Trish did put in like the words that we had said over the rosemary, but the rosemary was added to strengthen the protection. It's also very clarifying. So what we had said, I believe, was strengthen this protection, keep my intentions clear and steady. I'm having to scroll back up through because my chat thing never works right. Yeah, keep my intentions clear and steady. Rosemary is very clarifying. I'll give it just a second here. For what you're on now, what for and what day, what to say. Oh, I haven't said it yet. I haven't said it yet. I just got the time. I just got time out. After cleansing the jar, give me just a second, because I knew that we were gonna do this, so I have little notes up here. After cleansing the jar, you would say, "This jar is created for protection." I don't think I put the jar in. Oh, it's okay. This jar is created for protection. It guards my energy, my space, and my well being. It allows what is aligned and it blocks what is not. I was somewhere. I made an outline because I knew some people would come in late because it's not a problem. It's just that's life. I know she's such a big help. I'm gonna give it just a few more seconds and then we'll move on with the time. Ooh, I'm spilling my time. Don't spill your time. Oh, I'm so excited for you. That's amazing. Congrats. I could do this all day. I love playing in my herbs. The more you touch them and play with them and focus over them, and the more you put love into it, it just works so much better. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Gina. Oh, congrats to Kimberly too. Oh, you guys. I'm so happy for everyone. Nice. That is perfect. Perfect time. Okay, so time supports courage and resilience. This is protection that holds under pressure. Okay, so when you add your time, you're going to think time, reinforce this protection with strength and endurance. Time is excellent for endurance. And then you're just going to focus that into your time. I guess I should put it in the jar now. Herbs make me so happy. I don't know why. I just like zen out when I'm playing with my herbs. Am I the only one that does that? What is a Blue Witch journal? Where'd you get that? That's interesting. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I don't know. I love playing with my herbs. Love it. Yes. It's going to smell even better when them cloves get in there. Smell it now because you'll never be able to smell it after it's sealed. Use the funnel, girl. Use the funnel. Need to see it again? This is where I'm at right now. Oh, I didn't even have it up there. I'm struggling. There. But it will, like, see, it will pack down a little. This is where we're at. I gotta scroll it down again. It stopped scrolling for me. I have a tiny funnel somewhere. I just rarely use it anymore. Oh, okay. I thought when you said Blue Witch Journal, I was like, what? Synchronicities. Synchronicities. The order does not matter. You can put them in however you feel called to put them in. And the same with how you choose to use it. So we're going to talk about that after we're done building it. Actually, Liz, I promise you, I have a whole plan to go over when we're done with it. Okay. My 5-year-old's still awake. You're fine. If your jar does not look like mine, it's okay. It's okay. If you haven't put as much in, it's okay. As long as you have put in what you feel called to put in. So if you have added to the point that you feel like it's enough, it's completely fine. Everybody's jar is going to look a little bit different. They shouldn't. That's the thing, right? Is that they shouldn't all look the same. They should all be individual to you. You add what you feel called to add or how much you feel called to add. You don't have to copy me exactly. Amy, do you have any bay leaves? I know it's the smells. Yes, the replay for this one will also be posted on Witchsea under the Witchsea Academy. So you can just click the Witchsea Academy tab, and I believe it will be posted tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna move on to the cloves. Now, cloves are Amy. Yes, use bay. Bay is, like I said, bay is very potent. It's very protective, and it's very similar to cloves. It's almost like dominating, right? So definitely a good replacement for the cloves would be bay, and you could even say the same things that we're saying for the cloves with that. Okay, so I'm gonna pull out my cloves, and cloves are very powerful protection. They're also amplifiers. They seal and they reinforce. They really just dominate and help set that extra, Now, I will say these are cloves are kind of big when you have whole cloves. So I'm going to show you about what I'm going to use here because we don't need a lot of them. So I'm using maybe one more. I've got like 6 to 7 probably is what I'm going to have in there. But I mean, that's totally up to you. If you want to use more, use more. If you want to use less, use less. You made me want to smell it. Marianne, it's your fault. Yes. Cloves are for D. Cloves are very protective. They're very powerful. They seal. They reinforce. They're almost dominating. Like they're just gonna help everything sit, like to just set in. Yes, ground spices work too. I'm very partial to my mortar and pestle, so I do I because okay, so like when you start doing things, especially like say you want to dress a protection candle instead of a spell jar, okay, that's when it comes in handy. I would be putting all of this in my mortar and pestle and grinding it up as thin as I possibly could, while those really like herb covered big bulky candles look so beautiful. They are not designed for fire safety. So once you go putting the oil and dressing the candle with herbs and stuff, it is so much better, honestly, and safer to use powdered form of things so that you can get a light layer instead of completely covering it, unless you're prepared and you want the dramatics, because I love dramatic candles, love them. But if you need something that's going to be safe and get the job done, I crush it all up. Okay, so for the cloves, we're just going to put our intention in. Cloves, you are to guard and fortify this work. So, what you should be noticing right now is that as you're adding each herb to the jar, you're not just dropping them in, you're assigning purpose to each one. That's spell work. And then I'm just going to add my cloves. Give it a little tap so everything settles. And this is where I'm at. And we'll be moving on to the crystals next, the crystal chips. Excuse me. I couldn't hold it in anymore. So for the crystal chips, we have clear quartz and black tourmaline. I'm not moving on like yeah, you can chew on cloves if your teeth hurt. Or like get like a clove oil too. Don't let it run away. If you're still putting stuff in, it's okay. I'm going to talk about these for a second. So we're using clear quartz and black tourmaline. The clear quartz amplifies intention. Clear quartz is an excellent amplification tool. It doesn't decide things for you, but it magnifies what you program into it. So, and it also magnifies anything that's around it. I'm going to separate these out, a few of them here. I'm going to go, I'm going to go with 5 chips for clear quartz and probably 5 of the black tourmaline, various sizes. And that looks good to me. Okay, I actually did 4. 4 of the black tourmaline because one of them that I have is pretty decently sized. An intention jar class. Yeah, we could do that. Okay, so the black tourmaline absorbs and it deflects unwanted energy. It's grounding, it's very shielding. You're gonna when you We haven't added anything yet, but when we do go to add the black tourmaline, You want to add that with confidence. Okay. So we're going to put, let me put these little pieces down because I like to, the way we've been doing it, we'll stick with the previous ways. Okay. So the same way you're going to set your intention into the clear quartz. For the clear quartz, you can think in your head or say out loud, clear quartz, amplify this protection with my intent, because this is our amplifier. Okay. Put them all in, girl. Yes. If you don't have crystals, it's totally fine. You don't need them. If you want to give your if you feel like it needs something else, if you don't feel like it needs anything else, don't do anything. If you feel like it needs something else, you could set it out and charge it under this snow moon coming up. Just a suggestion. But we're gonna add our clear quartz. Okay. And then we'll take our black tourmaline here. And we're going to do black tourmaline, absorb and block what does not belong. Black tourmaline is very absorbing, very blockish. It will just take it all in for you. How do you know how many to put of the different crystals? Just go by what you feel. I think it was part 2 of the protection webinar series. If you want to watch the replays of those, you can catch those replays on Witchsea for free under the Witchsea Academy tab. But I covered it in a way because it's hard to explain that. That knowing how much of something to put in comes with experience. I'm so sorry. So that just comes with experience. The way I described it is like, add until your body naturally relaxes. Add until you no longer feel pulled to continue adding more. Listen to your body's signs, listen to your intuition, listen to that inner voice that tells you, you know that you know that post that went around on Facebook for like ever that was like, like when you cook, if you're somebody that cooks and you never measure anything and it's like, what's your recipe? And you're like, I don't know. I just add until the voices of my ancestors say that's enough, child. That literally is what it is. I mean, you just put it in until you feel like that's enough. Amethyst and labradorite. Okay. For a protection jar, you can maybe use amethyst. I probably wouldn't do labradorite. See, the thing about amethyst and labradorite, especially as a combo, those are going to be very intuition opening. They're very spiritual crystals. Like those are crystals that you would use for to heighten your senses during divination and things like that. They're very it's in the combo. I wouldn't do labradorite for a protection chart. That's just me. If you feel, that's the thing though, if you feel a connection to that crystal, if you feel a connection to labradorite in a way that you feel that it protects you in your individual unique case, if you feel that that crystal protects you and that you're connected with it in that way, go ahead and add it. Because what the connection that you feel with what you're adding matters more than what the book says that that's for. Okay? You could add a couple of drops of the protection oil to the jar. Absolutely. Obsidian, perfect. Onyx would be good too. Okay. So for the tourmaline, we are going to say, or did we already say? I don't think we did. So you're going to add this with confidence. Black tourmaline, absorb and block what does not belong. And then we're just going to put that into the jar. And then I'll give you, just tap it down a little bit. So this is what my jar looks like now. Okay, sorry. I got distracted. So just kind of like notice for future reference though, how the clear quartz and the black tourmaline are going to work together, because like one strengthens and one shields, and that balance is intentional for the jar. So at this point, your jar should be nearly filled, but it's not complete yet. Okay, so the next step is going to be to activate and then seal it. Is everybody okay with moving on at this point? Because right now it's like a locked door without a key. So activation is what tells the spell when to work, how to work, for who it is going to work for. So before we seal anything, we're going to activate. I want you to take the jar in both of your hands, bring it close to your chest, hold it like this, kind of between your palms, bring it close to your chest, close your eyes for a moment, really focus on what this jar is for, who it's intended to protect, what you want it to do. We're going to reinforce that again. Okay, protection magic responds best to clarity, not emotion. So instead of thinking about what you're afraid of, I need you to think about what you're claiming here. Ask yourself, what am I protecting? Am I protecting my peace, my home, my energy, right? My spiritual space. You don't need to have like a whole paragraph in your head, but you need truth. And then you can kind of speak out loud. I'm going to pause as I'm saying this so that you can repeat it. Speak out loud or in your head. This jar is activated to protect me. It guards my energy, my space, my well-being. It allows in what is aligned with me and blocks what is harmful, draining, or unwanted. And then we're going to breathe into the jar, breathe on the jar, breathe into the jar, literally breathe in and exhale slowly into it once or twice, because your breath carries your life force. You're anchoring this work to you. If you're making this for somebody else, still breathe on it, because that's going to activate the jar. You've already told it who you want it to work for at this point. You should have already said that. So it knows what to do when you activate it. How does that feel for everybody? I love it. This is why protection jars can be so personal, because they literally respond to the creator. Now you're going to take your cork, put it in. I have no idea, like, oh, we're at 49 minutes. Okay. I got to speed this up a little bit here. We're going to take your cork, push it into place. And then while you're corking your jar, understand that sealing it is not about trapping the energy, like we talked about, like in the beginning here. You're not trapping the energy. You are locking in the purpose. You're locking in the amplification. So everything in this jar is amplifying what the jar is sending out. Okay. So once the cork is in, your jar is now operational. Congratulations. You're not finished yet. We still need to close the working. We still need to seal it, but your jar is working. I'm so happy for everybody. You guys are so amazing. Okay. So we're going to get our black candle. I have my little dish here that I let my incense burn on. I'm going to set my jar in the dish. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you can see it a little bit there. If I bring it back here. Yay. I love it. Everybody's saying it feels good. Yay. That means you did it. You did it. Okay, so we're using a black candle, and I just wanted to be like really clear about this because a lot of people really misunderstand black candles. Black candles are not negative. They absorb, they neutralize, they protect. So the candle is not adding any kind of new intention. It's securing what already exists. So you're gonna light your black candle now. You can light, yeah, we'll go ahead and light it. Some people just melt the wax, but we're gonna light it. Okay, and then just be careful that wax doesn't drip down and burn you. But as it burns, hold the jar kind of near the flame, set them, just have them next to each other, and let the wax drip onto the candle, or let the wax drip onto the candle, let the wax drip onto the jar as it's burning. You might have to tip it upside, don't burn out on me. There it goes. You might have to tip it a little bit to let that drip. And just start letting that drip. And as it's dripping, we're going to say or think, this protection is sealed. It is strong. It is steady. It remains active. I might need to hurry this along because my candle is not melting very fast here. There we go. See that? So if you need to hurry it along, you can. Just help it out a little bit. And you do not have to like fully seal every side of it. This is more of a symbolic thing. Okay, we don't have to physically seal the jar, the whole thing, unless you want to. But I mean, doing it this way goes pretty quickly. I feel like I do like to make sure that it's at least, you know, a little bit on each side, but you don't have to fully cover it. And everybody, please be careful. Don't burn yourselves. I can't be held responsible for mass burnings, okay? Now, once you have enough wax on your candle that you're satisfied with that, you can snuff out your candle, or you can do what I'm going to do. I'm going to melt the bottom of it here just a little bit and stick it. And then I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to let that burn down while my jar cools, while the wax that, I just dripped over my jar cools down. I got a little bit on my table. That's okay. I'll get that off. Where are we at here? You can use little wax beads. Yes. Yeah, I did cleanse my candle in the smoke before we started. Let me scroll up here so I can catch up. If it'll let me. Okay. What's a good substitute for any color? Oh, white. Okay. Never mind. I thought you were asking a question. Okay. I am caught up. Yes, you can definitely use the little wax beads. My fiance just told me I was all stressed out and now I'm calm. It's like therapy. I know they say witchcraft doesn't replace therapy, but there's like little kind of ways that it does. It's almost meditative. I feel like it's very it gives you that minute to slow down and direct your focus and direct your thoughts into one thing, and to where everything's not so chaotic. No, it's not weird. Actually, I've seen people cry during spell work. I used to work with a woman that something about her energy. People would come into the shop just for her to cleanse them, and they would cry. When she would cleanse them, they would cry. I saw that. Didn't we talk? Or maybe I think you commented, or I saw that somewhere, Gina. I responded too. I said I would just chop that up to an extra good offering. Definitely. Yes. I love it. Okay, so there's a couple of things I want to talk about while you guys are finishing up and you can just kind of listen. My jar is not quite my jar is not quite cooled down yet. We're getting there. Um okay, so this is what you're going to do with the leftovers. Now, if you did it like I did it and I just dumped what I wanted out of the bag, I can save what's left in the bag to use another time or on a different jar. That's not a problem at all. I didn't put intention I didn't put intention to anything in these bags. I only put the intention to what I poured out in my hand. So if you did it that way, keep everything. Okay. If you have leftover or maybe there's stuff that you spilled, um, or things that just kind of fell on your table, it's completely fine. The herbs you can take outside, you can throw them to the wind, you can return them to the earth. If you don't want to, for some reason, you can't take them outside or whatever, because you could also put them in a compost pile. You could put them in a pot, like a potted plant. You could think them. If you're, I always say like you can definitely throw things in the trash, but think it for its work first. If you're just going to throw it in the trash, do it respectfully. So if your only option is to throw it in the trash, thank you for serving me today. Only what remains will stay active, and then toss the rest. So that's what you can do with the herbs. As far as the crystals, you can, if you say, if you had them all in your hand at once and you put your intention in, but you didn't use them all, you can cleanse those, put them away. You can use them again later. Um, Definitely can cleanse and reuse your crystals. The salt can be thrown away, or you can dissolve it in water, thank it for its work, and pour it down the drain with intention. Um, so, like I said, when you do get rid of these, you just want to have, a clear thought process that the work is complete. Only what is intended remains active. This prevents you want to do that because it prevents any energetic bleed over. Um, or your energy leaking into other places. So we're gonna make sure that you do that. Yes, you can save your black candle for future protection workings. Um, and then we're gonna talk placement. So this is what I was saying that I was gonna get to when somebody asked. So you want to keep your jar um, where it makes sense to keep your jar depending on what your working was for. So if you did a home protection, you might want to keep it by your front door. You might want to keep it by your altar. You might want to put it somewhere where it's not going to be disturbed, okay, or messed with a lot, but you want it to be within the space that you're trying to protect. If you're like a rideshare driver and you made this for your car, keep it in your glove box. Um, if you want it to protect you in social situations or while you're traveling or things like that, keep it in your purse. Candace, let me see if since I have a screw top lid, can I add the ash from the incense once in school? Yes, you can. You can add the ash. Sorry, I didn't cover the ashes. You can add the ash if that's what you want to do. But if you've already sealed the candle, you'd be breaking the seal. Um, but the ash what I will be doing with my ash, because I didn't put my ash in there. What I will be doing with my ash is saving it for black salt. I have a little container that I put my ashes in, and then I use my ash to make black salt later. You can also throw the ashes to the wind as well, or return that to the earth. You can do 2 jars if you feel called to do 2 jars. I don't feel like you need to, but if you feel like you need to, go ahead. Guys, give me just a second. I'm sorry. I had to wipe my nose. However, it doesn't have to stay upright. It's sealed. Yeah, you could definitely drop the ash in. That's a good idea. You know what? I didn't think about that. You could definitely do that. Drop the ash on the wax as it's cooling. That's smart. See, good thinking. Yes. Our brains are working. I love it. Okay. So, where were we at here? I know we were talking about placement. But yeah, it needs to live like somewhere stable where it's not going to be disturbed too much and relevant to what you made it for. Um, if it's for your home, or if it's for yourself, maybe keep it near your bed. You can also keep it in a drawer or a cabinet if you have to. It doesn't have to like set out. Um, Places that you would want to avoid is probably don't keep it in a bathroom or like trash areas or where it's going to be constantly moved around, because protection thrives on consistency and the jar is going to work best if it has that clear energetic home. So once it's placed, you're going to try not to touch it unnecessarily. It's not a fidget, it's a boundary marker. And then as far as maintaining it, um, this is it's a set it and forget it, but only for so long. Okay. It does need to be maintained. Um, it's not fragile, but it is alive. So, about once a month or whenever you feel energetically off, you can maintain it by holding it and reaffirming its purpose. You can give it a little shake. I think mine might be dry. Give it a little shake if you want. Um, so this is what it looks like here. She is all dry. Um, you can light a black or a white candle nearby it. You can set it out to charge in the moon. You don't need to like disassemble and rebuild it unless for some reason like the jar breaks or the cork comes loose, things spill out of it, if the energy feels flat even after doing the maintenance. If that happens, just thank the jar respectfully, dismantle it, and then you can rebuild. Okay. I would probably you can I would probably refresh it if that happens too. I don't think I would reuse the same stuff that I had in here besides the crystals. You can reuse the crystals, but I would probably refresh the herbs and the salt if that ever does happen. Um, Protection doesn't usually show up as dramatic events, so remember that. We're looking for less emotional drain out of this, clearer boundaries, situations dissolving before they escalate, um, feeling steadier, feeling more grounded, recovering faster when things happen, right? Protection magic's quiet. So that's how you know it's doing its job. That's what you're going to look for. So it's all done. It's active, it's intentional, and it's working for you right now. If you made it for someone else, well, here's my question for you, Robin. Are you going to keep the jar yourself, or are you giving it to the person that it was made for? You can try, yeah, you can sit it outside now. Go for it. We're still in a waxing phase, technically. You want to give it to him? Then just tell him to. Would he be willing to maintain it? Or do you need to maintain it? Because you could tell him to make sure that he picks it up every now and then, gives it a little shake. If he's willing to put it out in the, he probably won't remember. Okay. Okay, so then, and we don't live together. So then what you can do from afar, once you've given it to him, maybe once a month on the full moon or something like that, light a candle with the intention of refreshing that jar for him. And that should be fine. You're still working with that energy that you sent out to begin with. So that would work just fine. A white or a black candle. You could even save the candle that just to relight now and then, let it burn for a few seconds, reset the intention, and then snuff it out. Hey, Warlock Spice. Absolutely. I just wouldn't overdo it with the refreshing it, but definitely about once a month or like every full moon. Absolutely. You're very welcome. Okay, guys. We're at an hour and 7 minutes. I think Trish might kill me if I don't wrap it up now. I love this though. It was great. You guys will have to I'll do like a post on my Facebook and have you guys if you're comfortable with it, have you, or even just message me pictures of your jar. You don't have to do it. We won't do a post if you don't want everybody up in your business like that. But send me a picture of your jar. I want to see how pretty they are.
Thank you guys so much. And as a special for all of you who attended live, I'll do a drawing for our protection jewelry award. So it's very cool. It's nice deep protection oil. I'll post it tomorrow, whoever the winner was, and you can reach out to me and you get a choice of protective necklaces like witch's knot or a pentagram or a key. We have it gold and silver, so I'll let you guys pick that, and then we'll ship that out to you.
You guys, that key necklace is phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's good thing. So reminder, we have some other things coming up. Blue Witch has spell crafting coming up. Shadowworks first, spell crafting and lunar magic.
Shadow work is February 3rd.
Yeah, so that one's coming right up. So if you want to check shadow work out in the events section, you'll see it up there.
I'm excited for the shadow work one
It's
too.
going to be good. It's going to be really good. So I want to thank you all for coming tonight, and we hope to see you at the next one. And Liz is also going to be doing some other events. She's going to put in and out of here. So make sure you stay up with us. Follow us on the Crowdcast channel so you don't miss anything. So thank you all again for coming tonight. I'm sure your jars are incredible, and they are going to bring a lot of protection to you, your space, your family, whoever you set your intention for. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Marianne. Thank you, guys. Bye.